Okay, good evening, y'all. How are y'all? Aw, man, come on, man. You gonna make me cry. All right. So y'all didn't answer that, so I'm gonna ask again. You don't have to. I know where we right here. The rest of y'all, how are y'all? Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, turned up. Okay, so we are going to kick off the kickoff, right? Thank y'all for being here. For those of you that are online, all 99 plus of y'all, thank y'all for joining as well. Um, we're going to go through some information. This is going to be like drinking from a fire hydrant, okay? There is going to be time for questions in between sections of the presentation and stuff like that, but then I'll also stick around at the end to answer any questions. Those of you that are returners, y'all know why I'm making that face, because y'all know how y'all get once I start talking. And I already anticipate that I will be here very long. So I will try to get every single one of your questions answered. However, if you can't stay the whole time and you have questions, you know the drill. Just shoot me an email or reach out to your success coach as well, if I'm not your success coach. So welcome to the fall 2024 kickoff and program meeting for ATA. Next slide. I'm gonna have to say next slide every time. Oh, no, I'm not. That's right. We fixed it. I mean, I fixed it. I'm taking credit. So this is our ATA staff this year. So Dr. Janina Arrington, who is is it associate or assistant? Associate vice president? Assistant vice president of 3SL. She is serving as the interim director. Now, you may notice that we just use the term interim director. So for those of you that know Dr. Caesar, Dr. Gemma Sylvester Caesar, she is retiring. Yes. So she is don't all she is lit about it. She is yeah, she been ready for a little minute. So don't feel sad for her. She is gonna be drinking out of a coconut in like a week or something like that. And she has been making it a point to let us know. So she is so she is gonna be just fine. All right. But with that being said, she will be missed. So we will have Dr. Arrington serving as our interim director of the GSI for the time being. Eventually, I think we'll end up getting another one, but whenever those changes are made, of course, we'll update y'all as members. Of course, that's me. I hate this picture, but it is what it is. I don't know. I look so angry. The RBF is going crazy. And then Heidi Flores, who is in the back, she is our program coordinator. Yes, she got promoted. Is this our first program meeting since then? Hey, can we stand up, Heidi? Woo! Heidi doesn't want to stand up. It's okay. So Heidi is now the program coordinator. So the job that I used to do, right, that will be Heidi. So all of the events, that's right. If y'all have ideas about events or like, oh, can we go here or whatever? Yeah, you don't send it to me no more. Talk to Heidi. Then our amazing academic success coaches, Christian Morales Garcia, who just walked in. So he works mostly with our students who are in through and two, but the through and two students also have the ability to attend the events and programming and stuff of the ATA program. So they are also our ATA family as well. And then Rainisha Stevenson, our new success coach, who is in the back to the right. And Miss Erica Skinner, who is our web and publication support slash heart and soul of ATA. And are you still technically are you a member? Are you a student in ATA? Yeah, let's go. Come on. Come on, right? You know what I'm saying? May 20, getting that bread, I'm telling you. All right. And these are going to be our peer mentors. Notice that our peer mentors are what's the word? There's less of them this year. Okay. So our peer mentors will be working in a different capacity a little bit this year. So you will still have a peer mentor who reaches out to you and sends you information, of course, updates, different things like that. We will still have our peer mentors housed upstairs in the lounge. Right upstairs. Yeah, we're on the third floor. So yeah, on the fourth floor upstairs in the lounge, they will still be there. They will also be working at the front desk sometimes in the GSI. But they will also be monitoring our virtual lobby, our virtual peer mentor lobby, which will be open Mondays 11 to 5 and then Thursdays 8 to 5. Am I right? Yes. Right. So if you have questions that you're like, you know what, I don't really need to schedule a whole session with my coach, or if you're one of my students and you're just like, I really don't want to talk to him today, I don't need a lecture, you can always reach out to the peer mentors as well. A couple of my students are looking at me like, I need a lecture right now. So Noor Algieri, Ravi Nagy, and Dean LeBlanc. So I believe Noor, and is Ravi here? Yeah, Ravi is in the back. Noor, I do not believe is here. Dean will be starting September 9th. Y'all know Dean is popular and has all kind of stuff that he's involved in. So he is treating us like chopped liver this week. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We love Dean. But he also works in the fitness and wellness as a professional, what is it called? Personal trainer, right? So if you're trying to get in shape and you want somebody to yell at you, Dean will do it. All right. So what is ATA? So for the new folks that are coming in, well, yeah, let me start with this. Okay. So for the new folks that are coming in, ATA is just transfer support, right? It's a grant, it's a Title V grant that we have. So the main three pillars of ATA and what we do is we want to work with you in your academic success, your career exploration and readiness, right? And then also just your community and campus involvement, right? Or engagement. Because all three of those areas are going to make you a well-rounded student, right? Which will eventually make you a well-rounded employee. And that's kind of the whole purpose of us coming to school, right? Is so that we can get the job to pay the bills for us to be able to do the stuff that we want to do, right? So that is the main thing that we do in the program, okay? So your academic success coaches, or let me back up, right? So the ATA components, again, the three pillars, those three areas, and these are the three things that we expect for you to do. Now, the main thing is the engagement and connection, right? The reason that I'm saying that is because this part, the earn, right, isn't necessarily going to be everyone in the program. And I'll explain that shortly. However, well, at least not through us. You will eventually make great money. Most of my students, whenever they graduate, they end up making way more money than I ever will. And that's okay because this is the life I chose. This is the life I chose. But so engage, right? So Heidi will be coordinating a lot of the events and the programming that we do so that y'all can do things like this, right? One of the cool things that I saw earlier, one of the students was like, hey, y'all want to come sit over here, right? So that we can, again, build community, right? That's why we try to have these type of events, right? Not to pull you away from your homes and be in your kids or families, right? Just so you can be here. That's not what we do. The whole point of programming like this is for you to build a community at your institution, right? Statistics show the more involved you are as a student, well, not the more involved, because some of y'all get too involved, okay? But when you are involved on campus and when you do have affinity groups and community groups on campus, your likelihood to graduate and your likelihood to be retained from semester to semester is a lot higher than students who are not involved on campus. Okay, so that's why these kind of programs exist. Okay, so some of the incentives. Before I talk about this, it is time to rip a Band-Aid off that I have been trying to avoid for a very long time. So, as y'all know, this is a Title V grant. We are in the last year of that grant. Yes. So technically spring 2025 will be the last semester of the ATA program. Okay. Yes, let's let that resonate. All right. Let's let that sit in the room for a second. Okay. Grants do have to come to an end. As of right now, I do not have any confirmation on any of these services absolutely getting institutionalized. We are working on that, but we have had for those of you that do know, within our division, there has been a lot of turnover, right? As far as some of our leadership and things along those lines. And because of that, right, we are kind of in a situation where we're kind of playing catch up in this last year. So my hope is to put forth, a really great year this last year so that we can show the university that this kind of stuff does matter to you all, so that we can keep having this support for you all, right? Because without it, pretty much all of the transfer supports at UHD kind of go away. There's not really anything else. Of course, we have our stuff for our first time in college students, right, through the GSI, but outside of ATA and through and two, which the through and two is coaching is funded through the ATA grant as well. So without those kind of things, we're kind of looking at possibly not being around, not yet. Now, with that being said, some of the things that we kind of did last year are going to be a little bit different this upcoming year, because since we're in the last year of the grant, funds are low. All right, y'all been broke before. I've been there. Okay, look, y'all know what it is. We broke. Okay, now that doesn't mean that we are going to stop trying to support you, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying to find ways to do similar programming to the things that we did last year. Right? It's just my hands are kind of tied with a budget that is, what percent is that? I'd probably say around 10% of the budget that we spent last year is what we have to spend this year. And I am being candid with y'all about that because I understand that there were basically some things that we didn't necessarily promise, but there were things that there were assumptions made, right, about the way that we would be able to support you this upcoming year. So we will still have our success coaches. I remember telling y'all we would have more success coaches. As y'all noticed, we only hired one, right? So we did grow. There are more people interested in the program this time around. However, we do not have the staff nor the funds to support every single student the exact same way that we did last year. So with that being said, the book voucher amounts are going to be less this year. Yeah, I know. Yeah, most people don't. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else? Y'all want to get it out? Go ahead. Let's groan and be upset about it. I don't have that answer for you yet.
You can have book voucher for my graduation stuff.
I look, you're not telling me nothing I haven't already thought about. Trust me. This has not been a easy decision. This has not been something that I wanted to do. I fought as hard as I possibly could, because I know that one of the biggest things for our students is the financial support, right? That's one of the biggest barriers to a lot of students at the university. So that isn't something that I take lightly. And I'm just like, oh, well, your book vouchers are going to be less. Great. I have stressed out about this to the point of damn near hospitalization. So this isn't something that I've just like, they'll get over it. Okay. I literally had a meeting with the AVP this morning over this kind of stuff to see what I could possibly do to increase the amount of money that we're offering. Okay. So the book vouchers are going to be available to students who are eligible. What eligibility is going to like because of the grant. Now, I will say that Dr. Arrington was very understanding in the aspect of having our part-time students still be eligible to receive some kind of book voucher. So what I have to do is look at the total amount of students that we have, the total amount of students who are full-time in good standing, for the returners who came back, the ones who completed their points and are full-time and or part-time, right? Those are some of the eligibility criteria that I have to look at. Now, hold on, because I got to get through a bunch. Another aspect of the changes is also going to be when those book vouchers are available. So, and again, this is not something that I am doing lightly because this change was something that I changed for a reason whenever I got here eventually or initially. The book vouchers will not be distributed at the beginning of the semester. So, yeah, come on, let's get it all out. Imagine how I feel giving it. So the book vouchers will be given towards the end of the semester. So what we are looking at is throughout the semester, completing your ATA points by, I believe, I can't remember where I have it. I think I wanted it to be the beginning of December, but completing them. And the reason why I do not have these specific details put together just yet is because I literally had the budget meeting this morning for me to try to find more funds for this stuff. So what we are looking at is having those book vouchers probably go out at the beginning of December. So for those of you that are graduating this December, you'll be able to use those book vouchers for your graduation stuff. Okay.
They sent the email, they have a deadline.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell them the book? We got an email. If they're specific about the time you need to order, if not, there's no guarantee that you'll have to happen there. They sent it out this week. But it's okay. I'll find fun somewhere. Okay, good.
I got a question. For some, I don't say, like, is there any way for like a student at ATA to like volunteer, still participate at ATA, but volunteer and surrender their book voucher allocation?
I mean,
Someone that needs it more than me, no, better.
I mean, that is absolutely your prerogative. I'm sure we can work something out. That'd be very noble and admirable of you, but I don't expect students to necessarily do that. But however, if that is something that you wanted to do for, the humanitarian of it all, um, we can work something out. I knew that question was coming. So the question was, is there anything that the students can do in regards to lobbying for ATA? The simplified answer to that is we cannot in any way instruct you or tell you what to do. That all has to be student led. We are working on our end to show that value to the university. Of course, all of the surveys that we ask y'all to fill out and different things like that, it's for that reason. So if you have seen a survey over the last year and you didn't fill it out, all right. So, that's what kind of happens. Yes, sir. Mhm. I feel like I am at risk of getting fired by being present during this conversation. So y'all all see who said these things. So if you want to be involved, you know the person to reach out to. Let's keep it moving for sake of time and me getting through the bad news to get through some of the good stuff. So um, I can stop talking about the thing that I've been thinking about for the last month and a half. All right. So yeah, so that's how the book vouchers will work. Like I said, I am working on the most, I guess, ethical and moral way to distribute those funds that I possibly can. So I am pulling data that my AVP asked for me to pull this morning in order for me to figure those things out. But y'all will not be kept in the dark about the decisions that are made. I am going to be very transparent with y'all about those things, as transparent as I possibly can be. But that is the situation. Okay. So, the scholarships also. So we will have the same scholarships, but instead of those scholarships being $1,000, they will be 500. Um, and of course, in order to be eligible to apply for those scholarships, you also have to complete your points, right? All of the ATA requirements. So that still goes into effect. So this semester's scholarships, so the ones that will be awarded for spring, whenever we open those scholarships up at the end of this semester, those will also technically be the last scholarships. So there won't be any scholarship application process during the spring semester. As of now, could things change between now and December? Absolutely, right? But again, being transparent with y'all about where we're at. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Oh yeah. Speaking of scholarships, so let's talk about good things. Okay. So last year or last spring semester, these were our ATA spring 2024 scholarship winners who received their scholarship to go towards their fall awards. So congratulations to all of these students. A couple of students, if you notice, won multiple. So you can apply for more than one. And the cool thing about all of this is it was all done anonymously. Like we had no idea. We set it up like that. So it was done the correct way. So what I did want to do is just take some time out. Do we have any of our award recipients in here right now? Can y'all stand up? Congratulations. Y'all earned it. We painstakingly read all of y'all's submissions. I'm kidding. They were great submissions. What I will say for some of you, because we found this out, y'all didn't think I was gonna find out. Y'all remember what I told you not to do about those essays? I said, don't do it. I said, if you do it, I'm going to find out and I'm going to know. As soon as I put them into the software that let me know, and it was like, oh yeah, this was definitely written by AI. I didn't even read it. Moved on to the next one. All right. So again, this is not an English class. Okay. I don't care how good of a writer you are. We just wanted the truth, right? We just wanted to know your experience and what you went through. And these folks, congratulations to them. So let that be known, okay, for this year. When we post those scholarships, do not use ChatGPT. Because I can tell, y'all know I use this thing every day for my emails. I know what it sounds like. Y'all know, we in agreement? Can we just agree to not do that? Can we agree to just not cheat? Nah, we don't got to do a chant. However, like I'm for real, right? Because when it's truly your words, right? That kind of stuff resonates. And we get to use some of that stuff, right? That can become part of the narratives that we display to the higher ups whenever we have to say, how do we keep this program going? Right? So tell your truth, tell your experience, because we do read them. All right. We don't just, oh, I know this ID number and then pick somebody. Okay. So again, congratulations to them. And for those of you that are online, congratulations to you as well. I'm giving you a virtual round of applause. for those of you that are joining us virtually. Okay, back to the book vouchers. Okay, so with the book vouchers, right? The things that you can use them for, and I really wanted y'all to be able to use them at the beginning of the semester, but we're not going to get into that. What you can use them for: textbooks, school supplies, UHD gear. We do not have anything set up to where we know exactly what you're purchasing there, or there's not any limitations, right? So if you are wanting to not buy school supplies and just, I don't know, we had a student buy an Apple Watch. She was very adamant about buying that Apple Watch using UHD funds. You can do that. You want to buy your graduation stuff, you can do that, right? So that's completely up to you. We would prefer for you to take care of the academic side of the house first, right? But sometimes you got to stunt, and I get that. Okay. I completely understand. Any questions about that? Do we need to do? Yeah, we'll skip this. So I will also, so this video about how to use your book voucher, we also usually keep that on the never mind. We also usually keep that on the Canvas site as well, which the Canvas site was published today. So this video will be there. So if you look in your Canvas and you do not see an ATA class or an ATA course in your Canvas, you still need to go into your email and accept your invitation into that, because I published it, I think at like 3 or 2 or something like that today. And no, it's not complete. It's not 100% complete. Okay. We're doing a lot. All right. But that is coming. Okay. Any questions about that? Anything in the chat? Where's Christian? What's up? Mm-hmm. Buy a what? A ring? A graduate? I mean, if it's through the bookstore, but I don't think that it is. And even if it was, class rings are expensive. Um, yeah. So nah. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, that was I ain't no joke by Rakim. Y'all don't know about that though. All right. So how to earn I used to let the mic smoke. So how to earn your ATA points. So not much about this has changed. There's one difference, right? So notice that this year it's 6 instead of 5. Okay. There is one thing because of the grant that we did have to add to this, right? And it's a different type of meeting. So y'all know how we usually have you go to you go to your academic success coaching session, right? When you do your focus 2 and talk about your stuff, right? If you've already done focus 2, you don't have to do it again, but I do want you to go talk to your career coach, okay? However, we also have this thing called, from those of you that have been in ATA for a while, you probably remember the term CLC, or Career Learning Community, right? So that was supposed to be a part of the grant where y'all all connect based off of like your majors or career fields, right? So we have included something that is a collaboration with the College of Business and our main career center as well. So what will be happening, and we'll be sending out these dates. There will be two mandatory meetings, really workshops that you have to attend. However, if you cannot make those workshops, we will be recording them, making them available for you to view, and you just have to do a reflection form for it, right? What you got out of it, what you learned. So what they will be doing is each college, right? So CHSS, CST, CPS, and COB, right? All 4 of those colleges, they will have a career coach there who is going to do a workshop based off of your career field. Well, not career field, but based off of your college, right? So maybe some of the best practices to be thinking about as far as interviews are concerned, how to update your resume for your career field, upcoming events or things going on in your department for y'all's majors and different things like that. And it'll also be an opportunity to put you in the room with other students who are also in your college, right? Not just students who are in ATA, but students who are in ATA and trying to do work similar to you, right? So that is part of the grant, and we have to have that in there. Whenever I had my meetings with the AVP, that was one part of our CLC thing that was missing and that we needed to throw in there. So again, with our program meetings, the expectation is you're either here or you need to make it up by going and meeting with your career coach, or not your career coach, with your success coach. However, with these two workshops, if you can't make those, we will make the video recordings available and you can just do the write-up. But we highly encourage you to attend, whether virtually or face-to-face, for those meetings. Okay, that's the only change as far as the points are concerned. So it's still 2 success coaching sessions. You have probably noticed that you were added to your success coach's caseload. So some of you will not technically be required to meet 2 times, right? And if you're on probation, technically you will be required to meet 3 times. But for our students who have a 3.0 or higher, the requirement is that you at least just check in once. We would love to check in with you more than that one time. But because, as I said earlier, we don't have the staff to support as many students as we would like, for those of you that, especially those of you that have kind of been with us for a minute, you know the ins and outs, right? You know exactly what we're going to tell you in the sessions. We just want to check in with you at the beginning, and then you let us know when you need to check in again, right? Everyone else, it's still going to be the 2 success coaching sessions, okay? That makes sense? Cool. All right, let's move on. Questions about this? Anything in the chat? Yes. So this is the kickoff is the first official program meeting. So it counts for a quarter of the 1 point that you were supposed to earn. I'm not doing math real good right now. 1/4 of the 1 point that you would earn by completing all 4 program meetings. That was a lot. That was a mouthful, but it made sense, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Other questions? We will talk about that in a second. In a second. All right. Any other questions? The Career Center major, that's what that is. Yeah, so the workshops that I was just talking about, that's what those are. You asked the question. Any other questions?
I was wondering, how do I officially join? I just came on the meeting.
This is a lot of information. You don't have to read all of this, right? But basically what a success coach is, for those of you that are new, anyone in the room right now, this is your first semester with ATA? Okay, awesome. Have y'all had your first success coaching session yet? Okay. For those of you that have not, all right, basically what we're going to do is we're going to get all in your business. Okay. We're going to get all up in your business, what you doing. Okay. What you doing in your free time, what your grades look like. I'm just messing with y'all, but we will ask some of those questions, right? So the main areas, like right now, show of hands, when you came to college, how many people knew how to study, or how were you taught how to study? You've been skipping my workshops. Okay, right? You saw that there were no hands, right? Not the Wale song, right? But no hands raised, okay? With that being said, success coaches fill in those gaps, right? Our whole purpose as success coaches is to help you not only be retained from semester to semester, but to help you get to graduation, right? And I was just talking to a student earlier. A lot of students get discouraged or, man, I don't want to spend too long in school or different things like that. You will finish when you finish, right? Our goal is to make sure that you finish, whatever that looks like. Now, the grant says that we're going to help you do that in 2 years. If you know me and you know how I am, I don't care about that. I care that you finish. Okay, because not enough students at UHD finish. Matter of fact, what do y'all think the graduation rate is here at this university? Say it again.
32%.
That might be too low. I think it's about 50. It's about 50. So for every student that comes in, it might be lower than that actually. For every one student that comes in here, say again. Exactly. So for every one student that shows up here, right, there's another student or more who does not finish, right? The reason that these kind of programs exist is to stop that from happening. Okay. So the very last person that you want to be lying to about how you're doing in class is us. You do me no good by telling me that you passed a test that you failed, right? Be honest. I failed an exam with a 23 once after the curve. And I graduated, passed the class and everything. Okay. It's not the end of the world. Right. But we need you to be honest with us so that we know how to help you. If things are outrageous at home and that's why your study habits are not the best, then talk to us about that so we can figure out how to put you in the right place for success. Okay. That's what success coaching is. All right. Any questions about success coaching? Cool. So, we might be doing, I know that the GSI does workshops. I would love to do ATA type workshops, like over studying time management and different things like that. Y'all let me know if those are things that y'all would actually show up for, whether that be in person, because a lot of our study skills workshops are much better whenever you're physically here, because I put you through a workshop. I don't just talk at you, right? So we practice and we actually do the work. So if that's something that y'all would like to see, y'all let me know and we can organize it, right? We can find a room and I'll put y'all through an actual success coaching workshop. Okay. So this should be typically straightforward. I think that this now says, where's the light? I think that this now says Gator Success Institute in EAB or in Navigate. So it won't say center, but other than that, everything else is still the same. However, you probably shouldn't need to actually go do this individually because y'all should have access to all of our scheduling links. And then also, if you haven't scheduled an appointment with me, you're going to, I think, get emails weekly for like the next 2 or 3 weeks reminding you of it. And you just click on that link and sign up. All right. I'm looking at one of my students right now who needs to do that, but we're not going to talk about it. Don't look. I'm looking away now. We made eye contact and it's over. We don't need to talk about it. All right. I'm not into guilt tripping unless I got to go there. All right. So this is pretty straightforward. However, if this gives y'all issues, okay, one of the things that I have told success coaches, if you cannot schedule your appointment or you look and there's no appointment availability, email your success coach and let them know what your availability is, and we will work around that. Okay. Just don't be like, I'm only available at 6. Well, I'm not. So let's figure something else out. Okay. Cool. Important dates. Okay, so this might be a good idea to take a picture of. However, we do have this on the academic calendar. Okay, so if you literally just type in UHD academic calendar in Google, the first link is going to take you directly to the academic calendars. Now the academic calendars are different depending on the term that you're looking at. Right. So if you're in 8-week courses, your drop dates and financial aid dates are different. If you're in 16-week courses, right, yours are different. Right. So be sure that you're looking at the appropriate dates for the appropriate type of class that you're taking, because that drop date will come up a whole lot sooner than you think for certain terms. OK. The official day of record is September 4th. So that last day to drop without a grade from the course is September 4th. So that is also the date that we are using to dictate what your status is as far as full-time or part-time. Okay. So if you are currently not full-time and you're like, but man, I really want to be eligible for that book voucher, but I still gotta, register for this 8-week course or late registration or whatever, you have until September 4th to do so. Yeah. Questions? Anything in the chat? I feel like a streamer. What's up, chat? W's in the chat. I hate streamers so much. Are any of the the GSI workshops? Most of our events, most ATA events are going to be after hours. However, if we were to do a workshop and y'all request that, y'all want me to put that on, I can absolutely do that. Get in contact with Heidi. And we will get in contact with Heidi. She will tell me where I need to be and when I need to be there. And we can do something after hours. Y'all let me know. Y'all know my number one thing is however I can support y'all. Any other questions? No? I'm gonna go ahead and move on. All right. So these are, I saw a hand. Anyone? No? Okay. So these are our success workshops for the fall 2024 semester. You can also take a picture of this. These are mostly all put on by our GSI staff. Jason Holiday, who is, God, I'd never know what these titles are. Is it associate director or assistant director? No one knows. He's an A something director. All right. Assistant, associate, something, but he runs this part of GSI. I'm gonna have to ask him what his actual title is. So yes, so these events are put on by him. They are all usually going to be hybrid as well. I don't think he asked me to present on any of these. Cool. I'm off the hook. Don't tell him I said that because then he might ask. All right. So these are all put on by Jason. And like I said, they will be virtual and in person, unless, of course, not enough in-person RSVPs are done. And then it'll just be done completely virtual. Right. But you can get points for attending these. Right. We had one today at 1 p.m. If you go into the Canvas site, there is a assignment already that is available for it for you to fill out the reflection form for that workshop. That's the word I was looking for. Yes. Mm-hmm. To that event. Mhm. I will read. Well, send me an email about it. I'll reach out to Jason, see if we can get you a recording of it because we usually do record them. Any other questions? Cool. Yeah, you look, I wasn't there. Y'all look, I was preparing for this. Okay. And no questions about that. We'll move on. Also, campus groups. So all of our events, in order to RSVP for them, please use campus groups if you do not have campus groups already. At some point, hopefully tomorrow, what I'll be doing is I'll go in and add all like 400 of y'all into campus groups so that y'all can have access to this automatically and it just shows up whenever you log in, like whenever it shows like your groups, I think that's what they call it, like your groups, it will show up in there. Okay. But that's really all we use campus groups for. It's just the RSVPs. Everything else that we do for this program is going to be in Canvas. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is a new thing. So, if you need, what did we get? We got a scientific calculator. I don't know how many of each we got. How many of each did we get? Two of each. So we got two scientific calculators, a financial calculator. Shout out to all of you finance majors out there. Woo woo. Been there, never going back. And then also the graphing calculator, the TI-84. So what I'm thinking, we haven't exactly hashed out how that looks, but we will have a form for you to fill out. Because we only have a select amount of them, of course, it's going to be first come, first serve. But we will check them out. I'm really thinking like a week max, but it'll probably end up being like for a couple of days. We'll work that out with the logistics and see what the demand is for it. However, if you already know that that's something that you're going to need, or you know, like, hey, I'm going to have an exam coming up or something like that, you can always check with us to use it. How I envisioned it was us having, you know, a few of them to be able to I don't want to say rent because that would mean that you pay for it, but to loan out for the entire semester and then have one just housed in ATA. But we have two, so we need to share the wealth. So I'm thinking that it'll probably be maybe a day, maybe even a few hours, like you check it out, take your exam and bring it back type of a thing. But we will keep you posted. That is part of my long Friday to-do list. Okay. So yeah, and also the form and all of that, it will be housed in Canvas. Okay, Tau Sigma. Shout out to the Tau Sigma folks. So Tau Sigma is a National Honor Society that had been run through ATA for a while, but then it became inactive. COVID had a big part in that, and then just a lot of turnover with ATA. So one of the things that I wanted to do this year was definitely bring that back. And so we have 48 members right now. This year will be, and I want to say for the spring semester as well, we'll probably only be looking at ATA members. And then after this year, any transfer student who meets the criteria will be welcome in. The issue is, of course, this year, for the first entrance into the into Tau Sigma, we paid for their membership, but it's going to have to be moving forward that the rest of the folks in Tau Sigma do have to pay for their membership. I think it's 40 or something like that. It's $40, and then $10 or $15 for local dues, which we will likely start doing probably either fall or spring. Because by then, hopefully this student organization would be able to be self-sufficient as far as having officers, a bank account, fundraising, all of that stuff. We are trying to make this a real student organization on this campus to where, you know, elections for president terms, and all of that stuff will be going on. So I was originally going to be looking at, before I jump into that. So the requirements, or what makes you eligible: 3.5 GPA requirement, 12 credit hours completed at UHD. And then also you have to have completed at least 30 credit hours before you transferred to UHD. And that makes you eligible to be in the program, or be in it's not a program, to be in Tau Sigma, in the Honor Society. All right. So things to look out for as far as Tau Sigma. So for those of you that are in Tau Sigma, our induction ceremony is going to be September 13th. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. What could possibly go wrong? At 5:30 p.m. Okay. So is it 5:30 to 7:30, or is it 5:30 to 6:30? Where's Heidi? Something like that, right? Yeah. So it won't be very long, but we'll be handing out, you know, the t-shirts and certificates, because once you're in Tau Sigma, you are in Tau Sigma for life. Even if your GPA drops below a 3.5, That is absolutely fine. You were admitted under those requirements, so you're good. But that's just with Tau Sigma. That does not mean that you will be active with the university's chapter, right? Because you know how y'all in fraternities and stuff like that, y'all know how people be like, oh yeah, I'm a Sigma, but I ain't been to a meeting in 3 years. Like, you're not active, bro. Like, but it's okay. What was the question, Christian? It has to be a 3.5. So this is not this is not a UHD honor society. Tau Sigma is a national honor society. So this is based off of their requirements. We have a strict like constitution, like there's a constitution for this to where it says 3.5. So even if you're at like a 3.4999999, if it doesn't say 5, you can't get in. Yes. No. Well, I have to pull the report. So I pull a report of students who have all of that. But I only was looking at transfer students who are in ATA this year. Right. So after that, that pool is going to get very large, a bunch of people. Let's not think about that right now. I just got anxiety. So nope. Nah, you're not a founding member. Tau Sigma has existed here before. Que bueno. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
A lot of students, when they come to the university, they get lost. University, you know, they don't know exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
As well, however, I told a young lady about, you know, the TAU.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that, spring you will have it, or you're not gonna have it?
No, so Tau Sigma is an honor system. So now that we've established the chapter, it's here. So even if, let's say, my job, damn, relax. So let's say that, you know, end of spring semester, my job is no longer here, right? Let's say that we close. Okay. Tau Sigma exists here. They will have to find a new advisor because I'm the advisor for it, but the program, the honor society will still be here. Did I skip? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, induction ceremony, September 13th, Friday, September 13th. The Canvas site, I put program on here. I suck. I literally did this like 2 hours ago. Canvas site for the program is coming soon. So there will be a separate Canvas site for Tau Sigma because there's going to be a couple of things that are a little bit different. I was planning on holding elections or trying to hold elections for officer positions like towards the midterms, like let everybody kind of get their feet wet. But I went to like a COO meeting earlier today and I ain't got time for that. So what needs to happen is we need to get elected officials ASAP for this because I am not sitting through that every month. That's just not going to happen. So love y'all. Can't do it. Because it was at 4. This was at 5:30. Like it just, it's too much happening. All right. I put too much on my plate. So I need somebody to want to be the president of this student organization. I feel like you're involved in like 30,000 things. Do you have time to do? All right. Well, if y'all are interested in different officer positions, I will be doing outreach. Oh Lord, I am getting overwhelmed. Okay, then y'all gonna have to do elections. Y'all gonna have to fight. We gonna do all right. Election day, November 3rd. No, I'm kidding. So we are going to do that. What that looks like right now, I do not have it solidified just yet, because I do want there to be some democracy in this. I do not want to just be like, hey, you asked me, so you're the president, right? So there'll probably be like a 2 or 3 week window where we're doing the, okay, y'all, these are the candidates. These are their what do they call it? Their policies, their campaign policies that they're trying to do. And then we'll go with that. So the main ones that I'm looking for: president, VP, if the president is not there, and treasurer, because we will need a bank account. But this honor society existed already, so I believe there's a bank account somewhere. So I'm meeting with Tremaine hopefully tomorrow to figure out where that's at, so we know what's in it, and then we can move forward from there. Because like I told y'all, we ain't got no money, so Tau Sigma is going to have to eventually become self-sufficient as far as fundraising and all of that stuff. Yeah, well, yeah. Questions? Yes. Oh, so many questions. You're kicked out. I'm just kidding. Just let us know so that we can make sure that you get your stuff. A +1? A +1. Yeah. Again, we ain't got no money. They're gonna have to paper, rock, scissors for it or something, or wrestle. I don't know. How do y'all settle disputes? Other questions? Yes. Yeah, like you can't be like living in Mexico and vote for our president. Hey, more people should have made. No, I'm kidding. But yes, only Tau Sigma members will be voting on who is leading them. I feel like that's fair. Yo, ain't no perks, man. Y'all want perks. So really it's a student org. Yeah. They also, right. So we don't provide any scholarships ourselves, like through Tau Sigma. It's an honor society, right? So they have their own scholarships. They do have a conference every year. I don't think we'll be able to do the conference this year because it happens in October, and that turnaround is outrageous. And it's in Chicago. It's in Chicago. And like I said, I wanted us to go, and we were going to go. And then I had a budget meeting about a month and a half ago where I found out, oh, no, we're not actually. So I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like. But yes, they do offer scholarships that you apply at the national level, and they give out a lot of scholarship money. So you definitely want to be involved with that. And of course, it's something to put on your resume. Like you're involved in a National Honor Society for transfer students. And that stays on your resume forever. Like there's no reason to ever take that off. Yes. Man, you can buy whatever you want, but you're gonna buy it though. Any other questions? Yes, sir. It's going to be Heidi. Where are we gonna be at? The auditorium, right? Yeah. So it'll be in the auditorium. Like which direction? That way. Yeah. Well, not A300, but like across from A300. Yeah. Cool. So here's the little caveat. Okay. This is an honor society. So there's one little thing in order for us to stay active. Okay. So the ATA requirements per usual, right? So just do your thing because it's an honor society. So we need you to actually be academically sound, right? We are looking at volunteer hours. This is my, the hell was that? Y'all heard that? Oh, okay. I was like, what is happening? Okay, so the volunteer hours. Now, this is something that I know exists in most like fraternities, sororities, and other honor societies. I don't know if these are too many hours. So what I was thinking about as far as volunteer hours would fall into a few categories, right? So we typically need help as far as like tabling or doing different GSI events. So instead of you helping us out as an employee, it would be volunteer hours that you could do. You can also do volunteer hours with different organizations around campus if you're involved in other things, and you can use those hours towards what we do. Or let's say you are someone who volunteers at church or a food bank or what have you, right? You do those things, get that paperwork signed off. We will have a form for your volunteer hours that you can just get that signed off, and then you'll submit it into, I almost said Tracks. It is not called Tracks. It is called Canvas. You will submit it into Canvas. Okay. So for officers, we want them to have 15 because they will be leading. All right. And then the officers must maintain their 3.5 GPA. Right. So you being in, now notice I only said officers. Okay. Once you're in Tau Sigma, you're in Tau Sigma. So if your GPA drops to a 2.5 in 1 year, you need to come talk to us because what happened? But if you're an officer, right, that's when we have to look at, your term coming to an end if it's not after your year is up. Okay. Because officer terms will be 1 school year. So that means a fall and spring semester, kind of maybe into the summer, but. Okay. All right. Any questions about this? Chat? Nothing in the chat?
Yeah. How what?
Okay, the one question that I just waited for forever. Christian, dang. How do you join Tau Sigma? So you can't just join it, you do have to be invited, right? So after final grades come out at the end of the semester, I'll be running a report on the students who are not already in Tau Sigma, who were in ATA and who finished with at least a 3.5 or higher and have at least 12 credit hours completed in their first semester at UHD. So that will be the process. I will send that information to Tau Sigma, like to our points of contact at Tau Sigma. And then they instruct me to give y'all a heads up, like, hey, this person is going to email you telling you to pay this amount of money for this organization. It's not a scam. Please don't think that it's a scam. And then you're going to get that email from them. And then you just follow the instructions from there. Cool. Yes. Semester. Subject to change. I'm still trying to find research on what are the best practices as far as volunteer hours. So when that happens, I will update you. Yeah, Rainisha is looking at me like it's supposed to be higher, and I'm just like, we're trying not to scare the folks away. Okay, we need y'all to actually be here. Yes. No. 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 Please do not take more classes just for Tau Sigma. Um, Don't take more classes ever. Actually, is this recording? Never mind. You know what? You take as many classes as you want. Yes. So you will turn them in. There will be a form in Canvas, and you will turn it in to Canvas. Any other questions that I didn't already answer? Am I being am I being passive aggressive? Am I doing it too much? I'm sorry. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. Okay. Oh, snap, I'm done. Okay. So, questions. Yes. Mm. Mm-hmm. My fellow Americans. Okay. Okay. Um, I really wish I had the answer to that. I know that the president of the university does value the work that we do for transfer students. I know that that's a thing. As far as what the plan is after spring semester, we don't have anything solidified currently. And I really wanted to have something solidified to be able to tell y'all by today. And if you ask my staff about it, they will tell you that I have been stressing the hell out over this for about a month and a half. Don't talk about my twitching eye, okay? It's a disability. I'm kidding. Um, it just means that I'm dehydrated. Um, so please rest assured that like I'm trying, and my hope is that there will be some kind of institutionalized support for you all. And as soon as I get word on what that is and how that looks, y'all will know. I promise I'm not just holding things in. Yes. Yes.
So, it's not, no, seriously, it's not a question.
Before you say it, don't get me fired. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
Summer and work full-time, attend college full-time here on the dean list.
Come on. Talk about it.
One C. So this program is well needed at the university.
Mm-hmm.
So the university should take the students' comments, suggestions, and consideration. We are students here, and certain programs like the ATA is well needed. So as a student, you all have to get together, write letters, sign your name to it, and send it to wherever it needs to go to, because you're paying fees to come in. And if this program is beneficial to you all, because it was to me, then you all have to do something about it as a student.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your right.
I am not. Thank you for that. And I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible.
A social worker student.
Yes, Tracy Smiley in graduating from what is that, CPS? All right, College of Public Service. Yes, this December. Those were her words, not Deontay Richardson Jones. But no, I really do appreciate that. And many of the students have shared those same kind of sentiments over the last few weeks. You know, I've had one-on-one sessions with folks, so it does feel good to know that, you know, we've done something right with this program. So trust me, this is not something that I take lightly and that I'm just like, oh well, and it is what it is. Like, nah, I'm not gonna tell y'all how bad it's got to me, but you know, a couple of y'all have made me cry over the last couple of weeks. So, and that usually doesn't happen. It's usually the other way around. So, like I said, I'm gonna keep trying, keep fighting for it, and whatever I can do, I'll try to make sure I do those things. Other questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
Yeah.
Hey man, one thing, you're very welcome. You're more than welcome. One thing though, y'all will never have to thank me for this. you know, y'all are doing me a favor. This is the dream job. So, and I'm not kidding. Like, I was in the first year of my grad school program, and one of my supervisors asked me, he was like, what is your dream job? And I told him, eventually I want to be a director of a success initiative at a college. So I did that. So whatever happens after this, at least I did it. So again, y'all are very welcome, and thank y'all for uh buying to what I've been selling, because without y'all, the program doesn't grow. So any other questions, comments, or concerns before we adjourn for today? Is there anything in the chat? No, y'all over here getting shh. Hold on. Someone asked. Spring 2025. I want to say yes, because we do get those out of the GSI budget. I don't think those come out of the ATA. So we should have them. But this is not me promising that, because you never know what happens to budgets these days. So the goal, yes, is to have that for the spring 2025 graduates. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Do your thing. No? Nothing in the chat? All righty, y'all. Thank y'all for showing up today. We will see y'all. Don't forget to schedule your appointments with your success coaches. All right. And of course, if y'all need, or if y'all have any questions or anything like that for me, y'all know where to find me. Y'all have a good night and be safe. Thank y'all.